Teen Titans is the greatest DC superhero show. You all know about the Teen Titans, they barely need an introduction. They are arguably the most popular DC superhero team. You all shouted at me that you wanted more Teen Titans, and I am delivering on your request. Again, thank you all so much for the support on the Red X video, and we're continuing on with me reviewing Season 1 of Teen Titans. Around the 60s in comics, DC put Robin, Aqualad, Kid Flash, Roy Harper, and Donna Troy together as a team, with a cameo from Beast Boy here and there, and they were called the Teen Titans. It was to focus on the sidekicks of the more well-known characters, and the book exploded in popularity. Even more so when it was brought back in the 80s by writer Marv Wolfman and artist George Perez, under the new moniker, The New Teen Titans. There, the old team were brought back with new members Starfire, Raven, and Cyborg, as well as about 100 other new members that appeared in that book. If you're a fan of comics, by the way, and you want to read some more, honestly, just get any comic book from the 70s or 80s from Marvel or DC, because during that period, they were just putting out the best comics ever. You still had all the goofy charm from the 60s, but you also had the dramatic and epic storytelling that kept you invested. Now, the new Teen Titans were awesome, and they kept going with great book after great book, until they finally got a cartoon. Now, this was long overdue, because the Timverse had been going since the early 90s, which included the Batman and Superman animated series, as well as Static Shock and the Justice League. Why Teen Titans didn't get a series sooner, I will never know, but the point is, in 2003, Teen Titans got their own cartoon, headed by Glenn Murakami, who also worked on many action cartoons, including the Timverse. Teen Titans came out on Cartoon Network in 2003, and was one of their most popular shows, mostly because it came out during a boom period of action cartoons on kid networks that I really wish would make a comeback. On Disney, it had stuff like Slugterra, Randy Cunningham, 9th Grade Ninja, Disney Power Rangers, and Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Great shows. On Nickelodeon, you had stuff like Danny Phantom, Penguins of Madagascar, the 2012 Ninja Turtles, and Avatar: The Last Airbender. Spectacular shows. And on Cartoon Network, you had shows like Generator Rex, Codename Kids Next Door, The Secret Saturdays, Star Wars: The Clone Wars, Samurai Jack, and oh yeah, Ben 10. Amazing shows. That is absolutely my era of cartoons, and one I hope more people will talk about on YouTube. Back to Teen Titans, I've gone over most of the history in my Red X video, so check that out if you haven't already, but I'll summarize it for you here. The show was absolutely amazing, blending the styles of the Batman animated series and anime, which started a new trend of anime inspiring American cartoons. It ran for 5 seasons, and even though it was at the height of its popularity, out of nowhere it was cancelled, ending on one of the most infamous cliffhangers in history. If you know, you know. What was worse was that nobody could tell us why it was cancelled. Now, that's not unreasonable. Shows made for kid networks usually don't explain that stuff, but it's a big mystery. Now, many people involved in the series have come forward saying Warner Bros. Canceled it because they didn't like the pitch for season 6, or the toy company canceled their deal. Nobody knows. So Teen Titans ended, or so we thought, because they brought it back for a brief time with these shorts called Tiny Teen Titans. Short episodes of just mindless fun. This was also during a changing of the guard at Cartoon Network, where unfortunately they said they wanted to move away from action shows aiming for kids, teens, and families, and instead focus on programming aimed at toddlers. And thus they created the spin-off, or reboot really, called Teen Titans Go, a chibi version of Teen Titans with the goal of entertaining toddlers for about 11 minutes at a time. Not only was Teen Titans Go replacing the old show, but the executives used it to push out their other popular shows like Adventure Time, Ben 10, and Regular Show, all to get rid of them so they can just do toddler stuff. Yeah, I'm not kidding. You can look this up on old TV listings. For 5 years straight, they only aired Teen Titans Go episodes, and the other shows aired once a week at 6 a.m. Understandably, everyone who enjoyed the action era of Cartoon Network and Teen Titans were very upset, me included. Not only did we lose one of the best shows ever in Teen Titans, but it got replaced by a very average toddler show that was also pushing out the other shows we liked. Dude, give me the remote, I'm changing the channel. Now look, I don't hate Teen Titans Go, and it's not as bad as most people make it out to be. It's just not a show I enjoy because, again, it was made to entertain toddlers. And here's the real difference between the shows. When Teen Titans Go finally does end, and it's still going on, by the way, if you're curious, it's still going on, but in a much reduced capacity. But when it does end, is anybody gonna remember it? The answer is no, because again, it was just entertaining toddlers. They watch it, forget about it, and move on. But people are still gushing about the original Teen Titans to this day, and those fans are still clamoring for season 6, or at least a sequel series like how X-Men got X-Men 97. And do not forget, this series ended 17 years ago. In addition to Teen Titans Go, there was also a dark, gritty, edgy live-action show featuring the Titans that I've never seen, but from what I've seen online, you either love it or hate it. I was never really interested because it just looked like every edgy DC show they were doing at the time, and I feel like Teen Titans shouldn't be an edgelord show. It works way better when it's a blend of genres, action, drama, comedy, horror, etc. Now, I can't really talk about the Titans show. As I said, I've never really seen it, so if you like it, more power to you. With all of that out of the way, today we are reviewing the first 5 episodes of season 1 to remind you why it was great, and if you're new, you should check it out. I'm Rocko from Reamlore, and let's dive in. By the way, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. We upload videos just like this one on our Reamlore channel. We upload a great new video every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 3 p.m., so make sure you're subscribed with that bell pressed so you don't miss when we upload. Episode 1, Divide and Conquer. Our first episode starts at a prison with a break-in instead of a break-out. The offender is the villain Cinderblock, this big rock guy. He basically walks through the prison before being greeted by the Teen Titans, Robin, Starfire, Beast Boy, Raven, and Cyborg. They face him in an iconic opening scene where they say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like they're the freaking kids next door. I'm not going over the voice actors for the Titans and Slade just to let you know, because I already did that in the Red X video, so check that out if you haven't already. I do want to pass some good vibes out to Beast Boy's voice actor Greg Sipes though, because he recently came out saying he'd been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, which hampers your ability to move around and do everyday things. I just want to take this time to say, Greg, you're a great guy, you were the voice of so many of my favorite characters, and I hope you're doing okay. I also want to mention this first episode isn't an origin of the team, but rather them after they've already started like many DC cartoons. We would see the formation of their team in season 5, however. I talked about the theme song in my Red X video, so to summarize, it's very anime, created by the band Puffy Amy Yumi, with 2 versions. English for the serious episodes, and Japanese for the silly episodes. They fight and it is incredible. 22 years later and this animation is still stellar. And the cool thing about the Titans is that they all have unique powers that make the fights very dynamic and interesting. Starfire is throwing her energy balls, Raven is casting magic, being creepy, and Beast Boy is a dinosaur. Once it's clear Cinderblock doesn't stand a chance, he runs off and gets away because Robin and Cyborg screw up a combo move. We quickly see who Cinderblock was trying to break out of jail. This guy in a sleeping chamber. The Titans secure the prison, but Robin and Cyborg are mad at each other for screwing up the combo. It gets pretty heated, and this is where we see the first instance of an anime inspiration. When things are silly or cartoony, the characters morph into these chibi forms and have these classic anime gags. The intense argument ends when Cyborg quits the Teen Titans. Well, series over. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Just kidding. We then get the formal introduction to the main villain of the series and one of my favorites, Slade, or Deathstroke the Terminator. Broken record, I know, but we've gone over him in my Red X review, and he is just as awesome as ever in his cool factory lair thing. I mean, it makes no sense why he's here, but it's cool. Cinderblock was working for him and wakes up the prisoner, who starts to panic because he's only human when he's sleeping. This is when he transforms into the red slime villain Plasmus. Both Cinderblock and Plasmus are played by D. Bradley Baker, who has voiced a ton of characters, including many aliens in Ben 10, clones from Star Wars The Clone Wars, and number 4 from Kids Next Door. Back with the Titans, we see their awesome headquarters, a skyscraper in the shape of a T. It is really impractical, but shut up, it's cool. I also assume Batman pitched in to buy this place, or maybe Cyborg's dad, but an island building is great real estate. Cyborg has really quit the team, and they're all sad about it, especially Robin, who really misses him. They're best friends. We also get to see sides of everyone's personality. Robin is the stoic leader, Raven is a moody goth, Beast Boy is a goofball. That's another reason why the Teen Titans work so well together. They all have distinct personalities and feel like the extremes of the teenage mind. During this missing cyborgs montage, we also see Robin, the awesome, stoic leader of the superhero team, playing video games. I really like that. Even though they take their jobs seriously, they are still teenagers who enjoy movies, video games, pizza, and toys. It's what makes them so relatable to kids and teens watching. Meanwhile, Plasmus breaks into a chemical plant and starts consuming the waste to become bigger. The Titans arrive to stop him, and another great fight breaks out. I've really got to stop mentioning, oh, this fight was amazing, because you should expect that. Of course the fight was amazing. It's Teen Titans. Even though the Titans struggle without Cyborg and Plasmus being an invincible slime monster, they eventually restrain the monster. But it doesn't work because Plasmus splits up into 5 scary-looking monsters. The Titans are outmatched and Robin almost dies, but Cyborg swoops in just in time and saves him. They hit the combo move before and knock out Plasmus, returning him to his human form. Robin apologizes for before and they make up, reforming the team. This is the thing about the Titans that separate them from teams like the Justice League, for example. They're a family with the good and bad that comes with that. The Justice League are a good team, that much is certain, but they all usually have their individual lives and problems, only coming together when there's a big threat. The Titans, meanwhile, are a family. They live together, work together, and share a strong bond. They fight, sure, all families do that, but they care about each other so much they can get past any problems they might have. Cyborg also brought Cinderblock back as a peace offering, but something's not right. Using Plasmus as a distraction to do whatever he wanted seems a little too smart for a rockhead like Cinderblock. The Titans realized someone else was pulling the strings. And Slade is not happy his plan failed, saying he'll get revenge on the Titans. Episode 1 comes to an end, but how does it rank? Characterization I'm giving a 5. In the opening, we get a good feel for everyone's personalities, and we just build off from there. The story I'm giving a 4. It's a strong story and a nice opening to the show. Nothing amazing, but it sets the stage perfectly. Entertainment gets a 5. I had a blast with this. Just everything worked. The action, the comedy, the drama, it was perfect. Importance, I'm giving a 5. This is the first episode of the Teen Titans. It's a must-watch. Episode 2, Sisters. This episode starts with the Titans enjoying the fair. Robin and Starfire are totally not having a date atop a Ferris wheel, where Starfire admits she's happy she's found a place to belong on Earth with the Titans when a squid robot abducts her. Beast Boy, Raven, and Cyborg, meanwhile, are throwing rings onto a bottle, and I call BS. Those things are absolutely rigged. It is impossible to get a ring on that thing. Or maybe it isn't and I'm just bad. Either way, they meet up with Robin and go after Starfire, who is fighting with the robot. They all work together before Robin does what he does best and explode the robot. Once they return to the tower, they run into Starfire's older sister, Blackfire, who is voiced by Hynden Walsh, who also plays Starfire, and she looks exactly like Starfire, only with black hair. Blackfire gives her sister a green diamond and meets the Titans. It's clear from her interactions that she is a go wherever she wants, do whatever she wants kind of person, breaking all of the rules so she has cool stories to tell. This is also where we get the first instance of the dynamic between Beast Boy and Raven, because Raven's thing is that she almost never shows her emotions like anger or joy. So Beast Boy has made it his mission to make her laugh, and it leads to a lot of great bits. We also see that Starfire gets upset when her friends, particularly Robin, really hit it off with Blackfire. The next day, Starfire is looking for Blackfire to catch up, but it turns out Blackfire has been busy spending a ton of time with her friends, because Blackfire is cool, confident, and really smart. Or she appears to be, as we'll soon see. They all head out to a late night party, but Starfire doesn't feel like she fits in. Robin goes to ask what's up on the roof, and Starfire explains she's jealous of her sister, because she's good at everything and it makes her feel lame. More of those squid robots appear, and another great fight breaks out, and Blackfire is a bit hesitant to join the fight. The robots capture Starfire, but then Blackfire shows up and wastes them all with her eye lasers exactly in their weak spot. The next morning, after hearing the others suggest adding Blackfire to the team, Starfire tries to leave, but Robin stops her. They're then attacked by these guys with lobster armor on a spaceship. Yeah, we've seen snippets of them because they send out the squids. They take Starfire on their ship, but Robin catches a ride and sinks their ship. Our heroes escape and regroup with the other Titans ready to fight, but then we learn these lobster guys are police officers. These guys, who barely have any lines, are voiced by David Solovov and Reno Romano. David you may recognize as the voice of Shockwave from Transformers Prime, and Reno is the voice of Batman from the Batman 2004. That's my favorite Batman cartoon! Check out my videos on them if you haven't already. They're after Starfire because they were chasing a Tamaranian who has been committing crimes throughout the Centauri system, but Star notes she's never even been there. But Blackfire has. The whole reason Blackfire came here and gave Starfire the diamond was to let her sister take her place in jail. That is extremely cold, lady. Blackfire tries to bail, but Starfire stops her and they get into a big fight, with Starfire showing off she's gotten much stronger and holds her own. The officers arrest Blackfire mid-fight, and Starfire can't help but be super nice, wishing to see her sister again, but Blackfire wants revenge now. Back at the tower, Robin tells Starfire that while her sister was fun and interesting, she could never take Starfire's place. It's a really nice moment, and who can't relate to this dilemma? You have a group of friends, but then they meet someone cooler than you, so you feel left out. So it's really satisfying to see Robin say no one is replacing you because no one could. Characterization gets a 5. The standouts are obviously the sisters. You already get a feel for Blackfire as soon as you see her as a troublemaker, and Starfire feeling insecure is handled very well. The story I'm giving a 5. It's perfect across the board. Blackfire shows up really cool, and Starfire gets jealous and feels less than her. Overcoming her sister is a great moment for her. Entertainment gets a 5. The fights are awesome. Seriously, I'm not kidding. Almost every season of the show gets a 3 on fights alone. Importance, I'm giving a 3. It's not vital, but Blackfire does return, so you should watch it to get a better understanding of a future story. I also want to mention something real quick, that this series is theorized to take place in the same universe as the Batman from 2004. If you're a subscriber of mine, you know I'm obsessed with that series. But seriously, it's theorized, given how similar the animation styles are, that Teen Titans takes place about 5-6 years after the Batman's final season. No one at DC or Warner Brothers or Cartoon Network has ever confirmed it, but I could see these two series being connected. Mostly because they both have anime inspiration, and in the Batman, 10-year-old Robin was beating up Bane, and in this show he whoops Cinderblock on a daily basis. So it's not impossible to see the connection between these two. By the way, I am still going to cover the rest of the Batman Season 2. It's just uploads got a bit jumbled. We are going to go over the rest of Season 2, and if you really enjoyed these videos, I'll review the whole show. Episode 3, Final Exam. The episode starts with the introduction to the Hive, or not, because in this initial episode, it's the Hive Academy for Extraordinary Young People, or HAYUP. That only lasted one episode. Anyways, we see a training video for the school's top graduates. Gizmo, who has a bunch of gadgets, Jinx, who can cast bad luck hexes, and Mammoth, a genetically enhanced giant. Both Jinx and Gizmo are voiced by Lauren Tom, who also voiced number 3 in Kids Next Door. Man, ever since I mentioned that in the opening, the show just keeps popping up. Mostly because it's a great show I remember. Mammoth is voiced by the legend Kevin Michael Richardson, who voiced the Joker in The Batman from 2004, as well as a million other characters, including Trigon later down the line in this series. They're all pretty impressive and they're up for hire, and Slade wants to buy. He's talking with their headmistress and wonders if they're as advertised, and gives them a trial run of destroying the Teen Titans. The Hive headmistress here is played by Andrea Romanio, no relation to Reno Romanio. She's not really a voice actor, but rather a voice director, who would give their voice if they needed someone to fill that role. At Titans Tower, the Titans are arguing about where the remote is because the place is a pigsty. I mean, they are teenagers, so this is to be expected. I know for a fact I never cleaned my room unless I was told to. They go out for pizza and we learn that Beast Boy is a vegetarian, because he's been most of those animals. While deciding what to order, they stop a runaway bus from running over a baby stroller, but it was a trap set up by the Hive students. I really like the Hive students, by the way. They have this feel that they're from a fancy school, and they have procedures and attack patterns for this sort of thing. The Titans fight back, but they've never fought against a coordinated villain team before, so they get pushed back. During the fight, Robin gets launched into a sinkhole connected to the sewers and gets lost. The Titans chase after him, but can't find him, and regroup at the tower. They all feel terrible about what happened, but they don't have the time to mope as the Hive attack again. See, this shows again how well they've been trained as a team. They knew the Titans were rattled, so instead of letting them regroup, they go after them on their home turf. Another big fight breaks out, but without Robin, the team is fractured, especially when they split up. Once separated, the Titans get picked off and kicked out of their home, and Jinx creates a tidal wave to drown them. The Titans survive though and wash up on a shore, but they're not in good spirits. Cyborg especially, since he lost an arm, and everybody thinks the Teen Titans are finished, but this is when Robin returns, saying they're not. Later that night, the Hive added an addition to the tower and made it a flimsy H. You've got to keep the branding. They actually cleaned the place up, which makes sense. They're boarding school kids. They also mounted Cyborg's arm on the wall, but that was a mistake as he can control the thing from afar and hack into the tower, tripping the villains up. This is also a good time to mention the Teen Titans have really good background music. It's always energized and amazing. The Titans drag Hive to the roof and fight as a team to take out the Hive. They even get revenge on the individual members who screwed them up earlier, like Cyborg getting revenge on Gizmo, Beast Boy getting revenge on Jinx, and Robin gets revenge on Mammoth for the sinkhole. The Titans win while Gizmo name drops they were working for Slade. With said awesome bad guy, Slade tells the upset headmistress that her students did exactly what he wanted, send a message to the Titans that he was coming for them. The Titans meanwhile are upset that the Hive went through all their stuff, but are happy the place is cleaned up with the remote found, and are happy they still get to be a team. Characterization gets a 3. I mean, we don't get a big feel for the Hive students' personalities, but the Titans are great like always. The story I'm giving a 6. This is a great story introducing an evil team of teens to play opposites of the Titans and be their biggest challenge yet. They even lose their first few fights before rallying to get their revenge. Entertainment also gets a 6. The fights are excellent here. Seriously, this show is just a joyride no matter which episode you pick. Importance gets a 5. The Hive are pretty important villains who return again and again in the show, and it advances the Slade rivalry. It's a must-watch. Episode 4, The Forces of Nature. The episode starts with two beings stuck in a thunderstorm before descending to Earth. With the Titans, Beast Boy is setting up a prank for Cyborg. He explains to Raven that after Cyborg put junk in his shampoo, he set up this water balloon contraption to hit him, and it's filled with motor oil. Beast Boy and Raven hide behind a corner and see Cyborg hiding with them and realize Starfire is on the receiving end of the prank. Beast Boy frantically tries to play it off as a joke, but Starfire is not amused, calling him a glorbag blarblerneck, which I hope is a bad word for her planet. Robin interrupts this though as they have trouble. We meet the two beings from before, and they are called Thunder and Lightning, who have control over said elements. These guys were drastically changed from their comic counterparts. Before they had a generic superhero look to them, but now they have a Japanese inspiration. Thunder is played by S. Scott Bullock, who also played a lot of background characters in regular show. And Lightning is played by Quinton Flynn, most well known for playing Silver the Hedgehog from the Sonic games, as well as Raiden from the Metal Gear games. They're here on Mortal Ground have fun, and their definition of fun is trash everything in sight. Breaking stuff is fun, that's why they have rage rooms. The Titans tell them to knock it off, but these guys see themselves above mortals and take orders from no one. I really like these guys. They aren't villains per se, they're just beings with way too much power and don't use it responsibly. They have no interest in being rich or gaining power, they just want to have fun and don't care if it's at other people's expense. Awesome fight breaks out. Thunder even has a Nimbus cloud to ride on. During the fight, Thunder is excited to fight Beast Boy and demands he stand up. Beast Boy asks why they're doing this, and when Thunder says for fun, Beast Boy makes him look at the crowd of terrified people. This isn't funny. It's wrong. Are you still talking about Thunder, Beast Boy? Lightning and Thunder leave, and it's clear Starfire is still mad, and it gets worse when Robin pairs up Starfire and Beast Boy to search from the sky for the Thunder Twins. While Lightning is all for destroying more things, Thunder is conflicted based on what Beast Boy said. Beast Boy tries to smooth things over with Starfire with jokes and cute kittens, but it doesn't work. Thunder and Lightning then ambush the two, and I really like all the work they put into Beast Boy's animals. He has so many unique animal transformations in the show. Beast Boy almost gets through to Thunder, but this is when a strange man appears and uses a device to drop debris on the Titans. The old man tells the pair his powers are drawn from nature just like the twins, but it's all BS. He had a machine doing all of that. Thunder asks the old man if this fun will hurt innocent people, and the old man says nothing should interfere with their fun, and Lightning is all for that. Beast Boy crawls out of the rubble by being a spider and panics thinking Starfire is dead, and he does what he should have done before and apologize for that dumb prank. Starfire is okay and forgives Beast Boy. Back with the Lightning Twins and the old man, he set up these targets with runes on them, but once they trash them all using their mystic powers, he activates a rune stone, which turns the aligned targets into a fire monster. Okay, to spoil this for you, the old man is actually Slade in disguise, using these two to create a monster. And my question is, how does he know how to do this? It's safe to assume he figured out the brothers had mystic powers, but how can he just whip up a monster like that? It's a big hole in the story. I mean, we hinted at it perfectly with the machine earlier, so why are we just now giving him mystic powers? On the flip side, this fire monster looks really scary and really cool. Slade orders Heat Blast Stad to destroy the city as the Titans arrive to stop him. Slade tells the brothers that fire is their creation and they shouldn't let these teens destroy their fun. Lightning orders Thunder to come and they get into a fight as Robin fights with Slade. The Titans can't do anything to stop the kaiju fire monster, especially when Thunder and Lightning show up to fight as well. Thunder tells Beast Boy the old man says they are different and better than everyone else because of their gifts, but Beast Boy points out gifts don't make you better, just different. It's how you use them that defines you. Finally deciding enough is enough and it's time for a change, Thunder tells his brother it's time to stop this. But Lightning doesn't want the fun to end and fights his brother. Thunder refuses to fight, however, and asks if they're still having fun, which is when Lightning stops. Even though Lightning is obsessed with fun, he doesn't want to hurt his brother. Thunder says that if they are special, they need to act like it and help stop the destruction. Together they have another gift that can help. They unite and go into the clouds and create a massive rainstorm that destroys the fire monster. Back with Robin and Slade, Robin smashes his face, revealing the Deathstroke mask before Slade vanishes. Thunder and Lightning apologize for the trouble they caused before going back home, I assume. Yeah, that's the thing, we never see these guys again until the big series finale, which kinda sucks. I would have loved another story with them as good guys. In the epilogue, the Titans wonder who Slade is, and Beast Boy is no longer a glorbag blarblanek, and is instead a Milnip Wusserloop, but doesn't mention whether it's a good or bad thing. Characterization, I'm giving a 5. Everyone is solid in this episode, with the Thunder and Lightning turn being very natural. Plus, Beast Boy realizing he needs to apologize feels very realistic. The story, I'm giving a 5. Pretty nice across the board with an overarching lesson. Entertainment gets a 5. I mean, you should expect a lot of 5s in this category if we end up reviewing more Teen Titans. The fights, the stories, the comedy, these are all incredibly easy and fun to watch. Importance gets a 3. I mean, yeah, it does advance the Slade rivalry, but not by much. And while Thunder and Lightning return, it's not in any massive capacity, so this isn't that vital. Episode 5, The Sum of His Parts. The episode starts with the Titans having a cookout party at the park. They play a friendly game of football using their powers, but during the match, Cyborg shuts down. He powers back up and explains every couple of years he needs to change his power cells. Cyborg has to leave because he has only 30 minutes left before he shuts down again, but is sad he has to do this instead of enjoy the day with his friends. This is a big part of Cyborg's character. They never dive into it in the show, but Cyborg was in a freak accident and his dad saved him by making him a cyborg. It was a huge life change for him. Now he's only half human and most of his muscles are mechanical and need maintenance. And he has to deal with stuff like running out of power constantly. While walking back, Cyborg runs into a kid who says he's his favorite superhero because they're the same. The kid shows off his prosthetic hand, but Cyborg can't talk for long because of a Titan alert. The emergency is a jewel thief courtesy of the villain Mumbo Jumbo, a magician whose tricks are real. Mumbo is played by the legend himself, Tom Kenny, who my viewers remember as Penguin from The Batman. He's most well known for voicing SpongeBob, but really he's a delight in any role he's in, and he makes Mumbo one of my favorite villains. His voice just fits the character so well. Thus, every time I read a book with Mumbo, also known as Abracadabra, I just hear his voice. Seriously, Tom Kenny is really underrated because his delivery of these jokes is top tier. For example, he gets Starfire in this box and is about to saw her in half and just says, "Just to warn you, I have no idea what I'm doing." The Titans arrive to stop him, including Cyborg, who has an external battery pack to keep his power cell going for a bit longer. Robin is against this, but Cyborg insists and it doesn't go well. Mumbo fights off the Titans and blasts Cyborg away. He's separated from his battery pack and runs out of power before being dumped in this hole. Mumbo then rides off with the truck Cyborg was just just in, so the Titans go after him thinking Mumbo kidnapped him. Down the hole, Cyborg is taken to a laboratory and repaired by this guy called Fix-It. He lives down here and spends his time fixing machines, showing off his many robots. Fix-It is also played by Tom Kenny, and this is one of the very few times that Tom plays a character that is serious and not telling jokes constantly. No jokes, no weird laughs, no antics, just a cold, emotionless character. And to spoil it for you, he plays it perfectly. I love his comedic characters, but maybe he should play more characters like this. Cyborg thanks Fix-It for his help, but he says Cyborg isn't fully repaired yet, that he found flaws with his systems. Cyborg tries to call his friends, but Fix-It jams the signal, tricking Cyborg into staying. While looking at Cyborg, Fix-It asks why Cyborg would want to leave. Down here, he has everything he would need. Replacement parts, power, but Cyborg says he needs human stuff. He decides to leave, but this is when Fix-It shows his true colors and uses his robots to force Cyborg to stay. Fix-It ties Cyborg up and reveals what he meant by flaws that need to be removed. His human parts. Fix-It shows off the new robot parts that will turn Cyborg into the thing Cyborg hoped he would never become, a robot. What I realized about Fix-It is that he's a lot like the Riddler from the 2004 Batman cartoon. Riddles were Riddler's compulsion. He has to tell riddles, and Fix-It is similar in that regard. He has this compulsion to fix things. If something needs repairs, he will repair it. So when he views Cyborg as imperfect and in need of repairs, he will do anything to see the maintenance through. Cyborg has a nightmare where he has fully become a robot, and when he wakes up, he vows to get out. Meanwhile, the other Titans are hunting down Mumbo, who has left a trail of chaos for them to follow. Mumbo runs circles around the Titans with his magic, but he got too cocky and left himself open. Robin takes the wand and breaks it, destroying Mumbo's magic act and transforming him back into a normal guy. Robin demands to know where Cyborg is, but Mumbo says he didn't take him, so they realize he's still at the junkyard. Back with Cyborg, he tries to escape, but Fix-It deactivated his weapons and has full control over this space and the robots. They restrain Cyborg, but not before we get a look at Fix-It's mechanical organs. Fix-It is an original character made for the show, but based on the storyline and who he is, it seems like the creators took inspiration from the Technus race from the new Teen Titans book. They were a race of robots who Cyborg ruled over to teach them about humanity. While it is a total bummer we don't know his full backstory, in a way, it's kinda scarier not knowing. Like Hannibal Lecter, for example, he was terrifying, and it was scary because we didn't know why he was a psycho serial killer mastermind. Fix-It's ominous, mysterious presence really captures your attention, especially when you see he transformed himself into the cyborg thing. The other Titans go into the pit to find their friend, but all they find are Fix-It's robots, and a fight breaks out. Cyborg pleads with Fix-It not to take away his humanity, as Fix-It dives into Cyborg's memories and sees life through his eyes. Seeing these memories gives Fix-It a new perspective, and he stops the procedure and his robots. Fix-It says that he's been isolated so long, that he's forgotten what it's like to be a human enjoying life, that he's felt like nothing but a robot for many years. Cyborg offers to help him find his humanity again, and Fix-It accepts. In the epilogue, the kid from before runs into Cyborg again at the park, Cyborg saying it's not the extra parts that make you special, it's the stuff connected to it that makes it special. Characterization, I'm giving a 5. The standout is of course Cyborg in one of his best character episodes, and everyone else is great. The story, I'm giving a 6. This is a great story from start to finish, revolving around Cyborg in one of his best stories. His dilemma with almost becoming a fully fledged robot is a constant in the series, and you're always so happy every time he chooses to stay a human. Entertainment gets a 4. Mumbo makes this a thrill ride all on his own with the great action and jokes he keeps hitting us with non-stop. Importance, I'm giving a 3. While this is good character development for Cyborg, nothing in this episode really ties into stuff later down the line. We never see Fix-It again, and that's a mistake, and it makes the episode non-essential. The thing that makes it notable though, oddly enough, is Mumbo, who does reappear in season 3 for another episode. As you can clearly see from my ratings, I think this series is absolutely incredible, and it only gets better from here. As the show goes on, they usually have a drop in quality for one reason or another, but not Teen Titans. The whole series is filled with great episodes like this, so I highly recommend you check out all 5 seasons and the ending movie, Trouble in Tokyo. It is all so amazing. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all later.